Jadeveon Clowney and what might happen with Jadeveon Clowney as we enter the Labor Day holiday weekend. Hope everybody's off to a great start for your Friday and a great start to your Labor Day weekend. So we had planned to take some shows off. It's Buck off Sunday, us off Monday, and now Jadeveon Clowney might sign with a team by Monday, which means that we've been waiting for 6 months for all this, Zach. And now something might be coming to a head when it comes to Jadeveon Clowney and his landing spot. The Saints are making some strong moves towards landing Jadeveon Clowney. We'll update the update from this morning from Diana Rossini that we're kind of basing our show around today. So welcome in, everybody. We're going to talk about Jadeveon Clowney. We're going to do hypotheticals. What happens if the Titans do land Clowney? What happens if they don't land Clowney with John Robinson? And then ain't that good news on a Friday? And today's good news going to get a little weird, Zach.
Could get weird.
No, it will get weird.
It could get weird.
There's no could. It's going to be weird.
It could get weird.
Yes, good news will be weird news on this Friday.
Could get weird.
I've already started to make plans for Tuesday's show or whenever the next show we have for me to be able to be prepared for my magic bucket situation.
We're going to have a good show. We've got a lot to talk about. News, finally some football news heading into football season as we are now less than a week away from kickoff. Chiefs, Texans getting underway. And that's kind of, Titans fans got to be torn because they kind of want the Chiefs to win so the Texans lose in the division, but then they lost to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. They need home field advantage, all these things.
The Chiefs are going to be good. Yeah, you definitely would prefer the Texans to come out of the gate 0-1.
Right, but wouldn't you like a Chiefs loss, right? Because you'd like to get the Chiefs if, in fact, you meet in the playoffs again in Nissan Stadium.
I don't think that's asking for a lot. Titans got to win the division.
What do we ask for? We ask for a lot.
Yeah,
that's what, and this goes right into the conversation of what we're going to have of how much are the Titans going to ask because they need Jadeveon Clowney, but now they've got a brand new suitor that has come in to try to swoon Clowney off of his feet, maybe into a contract. We'll find out. Before we get started, though, bottom right corner of your screen, if you're watching on Periscope/Twitter, you'll see those three little dots. You can share the broadcast that way. Please share the broadcast. We need to pop up in your Twitter followers timeline. You can retweet us that way. Also, on Facebook, what's going on, Facebookers? More people will pile in. We're also broadcasting on YouTube and Twitch.
Yep.
For our Facebookers, though, we do want you guys to share. Bottom left corner of your screen, share now to public. That is share now to public. Sharing is caring. We're going to have a big show today, okay? Big show today because Clowney Watch is in full effect.
That's true. Let's get it going officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at A to Z Sports. You like our Facebook page at A to Z Sports Nashville. We are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, and we go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time. Got to thank our sponsors because they make everything happen with our business, and they help you guys out a lot. RentersWarehouse.com, professional landlords in the Nashville area. RentersWarehouse.com is where to go to find out how much your home can rent for. Mandu, the pulse of fitness, where one 15-minute workout equals 5 hours in the weight room. Mandu.com, your first workout is free. The Tucker Agency, Nashville's independent insurance agency. Save money on your insurance by going to tuckertn.com. Calvin and Subtle for your new hardwood floors and finishings across the mid-state. CalvinandSuttle.com is where to go. And the Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee, boneandjointtn.org is their website, the region's destination and comprehensive sports medicine and orthopedic care there with the Bone and Joint Institute. So, Zach, yesterday around 5 o'clock, that's usually the time that I check out of work stuff, and then I go do other things, and then I pop back in around Buck's primetime show. So during that window, Diana Rossini throws out what are we going to call this? It's not a Woj bomb, but is the clown bomb? Is it Diana bomb? Rossini bomb? I mean, do you have anything that we want to call Diana Rossini's news tweets? I mean, I'm sure you could come up with some ideas that could be pretty creative.
I would have to think about that one.
Okay. But that clown bomb that came out around 5 o'clock yesterday was this from Diana Rossini. Jadeveon Clowney could be with a team very soon. I'm told the Tennessee Titans and New Orleans Saints are both making strong pushes to sign the free agent. Both teams want him on the field by Monday and are making their pitches. Zach, what was your reaction initially to that first clown bomb?
Well, it told me that the closer we get to the season, that things are ratcheting up. And honestly, what it told me when the Saints came in, this was a move, because what happened earlier this week in the NFC South, Austin?
Alvin Kamara holdout.
No.
Leonard Fournette signed with the Bucks.
Yes.
I mean, you think the Saints are like, oh crap, Leonard Fournette's in the division, we got to go get Clowney?
No. I do think that the Bucks are making their team better, and the Saints have had a stranglehold of that division for some time, the last several years. Now they have a true contender. They've got to go out and get better. This is their Super Bowl window. Drew Brees has been screwed, you could say, a couple of times in the last couple of years. We know bad defense against the Vikings screwed the Saints, and then we saw Kyle Rudolph catch in the back of the end zone. We also saw the Rams play to get to the Super Bowl. The Saints have been just a hair from the Super Bowl.
Well, Buck put it this way in the 615 Sessions podcast that came out late last night, that the Saints have been picked to lose the Super Bowl every year for like the last 10 years, because that's how people view the Saints. And you're right, with the Drew Brees he's already got the NBC announcing gig for after he retires locked and loaded. The Saints do have an opportunity to win right now. So I saw this from Diana Rossini this morning, and we'll get to the new update about this morning about the Saints. But if the Saints do somehow find a way, and Mickey Loomis and his capology makes it work and lands Clowney, they would then have 5 first-round draft picks on their defensive front. That sounds like the team that lost the Super Bowl last year, the Niners, who had 4 or 5 first-round draft picks on their defensive front. So we know talent up front on defense and talent on the offensive line, they do a lot when it comes to winning games. So the Saints, though, I don't know. The salary cap, some people think it's a myth. I think it's not. I think you have to. There are certain things that you cannot do with the cap. And to me, the Saints are going to be forced to go around and ask some of their other players who are making big money to take pay cuts if they want to entertain the idea of signing Jadeveon Clowney.
Well, and I that's why I think that the Saints saw an opportunity, because you sit there and you look at what Jadeveon Clowney has done. The Seahawks got involved. The Titans have kind of been there throughout the constant, right? The Browns, the report of them offering a massive deal and him declining it. Then we got, over the last couple of weeks, that John Robinson, understandably, wants to take a look at him. He wants to see a physical coming off of that sports hernia surgery. So I think looking at that, the Saints saw an opportunity to say, well, if nobody's going to grab him, we are. He can help us. We're contenders. Right. And here's the big thing about the Saints. They are so close to winning or getting to another Super Bowl before Drew Brees retires. This could be, I think in their eyes, that's what they're telling us, this could be the piece that gets them over the edge. Now some competition has come in. And I love this, because it also puts pressure.
Yes.
And I've always said, when pressure is applied, the true character of a person or company comes out. So that's why I put on the graphic below J-Rob's next move. This is going to put pressure on Clowney, and it's going to put pressure on the Tennessee Titans. Yeah. Because as the report we're about to unveil, I think it's big.
Unveil. But anyway, I'll gloss over that. So let's get to a couple comments. Clyde says he's not a pass rusher. He's a very good defensive football player. That is what Jadeveon Clowney is. Ethan Ramsey's jokes, he wouldn't want to live in Cleveland either. Bobby says, and this is a lot of people have been thinking the way Bobby has. This sounds like agent conjecture. It's a clapback after the Titans said they can't even get him in the building for a physical. Now he has some more serious suitors. So here's I saw that from a lot of people last night. But then this morning, Zach and everybody, Diana Rossini drops this clown bomb right in the 7 o'clock hour before our show that the New Orleans Saints are all in on landing Jadeveon Clowney. Sources tell me they are sending a member of their coaching staff to Houston, where Clowney lives, to meet and discuss why New Orleans is the best landing spot for Jadeveon Clowney. So let's react to that tweet that we saw this morning from Diana Rossini. But first, let me tell you guys about the Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. Bone and Joint Institute, they're here to help you out whenever that injury happens in your life. Look, we as humans, we're flawed, and we're going to accidentally get hurt and have an accident and suffer an injury at some point. Make sure you take care of that, you take care of your body, and you get back healthy in a right way. And the Bone and Joint Institute can make sure they do that for you. They're located right there in Franklin off I-65 and Highway 96. They've got over a dozen doctors who specialize in nearly any injury you could possibly get. Boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Boneandjointtn.org.
A to Z Sports. Before we get more people involved, we're going to have a big show. Clowney Watch 2020 is at an all-time high this morning.
6 months. It took 6 months to get here, but it's at an all-time high right now.
You're absolutely right. We also want to inform you guys, Titans fans, listen up. If you're a Titans fans, we've teamed with MyBookie. My Titans is the code. Double your first deposit. If you put in $20, you have $40 in your account. If you put in $50, you have $100 in your account. If you put in $500, you have $1,000 in your account. That's how great it is. We've teamed with MyBookie to help you as Titans fans. My Titans, right there is the code.
All right, A to Z Sports asked you guys the question, what's your reaction to the Diana Rossini report that the Saints are sending a coach to Houston to try to land Jadeveon Clowney and convince him that the Saints are the best spot? Titans 212 says, so he's like a college kid again. He's being recruited in September in the NFL. Weird times, right? Jim says, whatever J-Rob ends up doing is the best for us. In J-Rob, we trust. Blah. Get out of here with that. I don't want to hear any of that. The Titans desperately need more help at pass rusher. Now, they did get some positive news yesterday when John Glennon reported that Derek Roberson's knee injury, no ligament damage, only going to take rehab, but we still don't know how long he's going to be out. And with Vic Beasley just working on the side field with Vrabel, very thin overall when it comes to pass rusher. Klein says Saints will get him. They're sending someone to Houston to talk to him, and he wants to be there. What do you think about the whole Saints sending a coach to Houston today? And do you think that can really help this Clowney situation?
Absolutely. I think the Saints are very smart in what they're trying to do, because what has I called Jadeveon Clowney yesterday an attention whore. That's what he is. He wants the attention. So how do you get a guy you want? You give him attention. The Saints are sending a guy to give his pitch. He wants to be wanted, just like LeBron James and Kevin Durant and all the NBA superstars of our world. They want to pitch, right? They want the Pat Riley pitch. And the Saints are giving Jadeveon Clowney just that. And the Saints have a lot to sell. So I think that this is big news of what Diana Rossini has been reporting this morning, that the Saints are making the extra effort to go after and try to sign him. The Titans have been wait and see. That's what they've been, right? That's been their stance. Mike Vrabel, we've heard him time and time again, right? The old, don't ask me any more questions.
Oh, no, but Mike Vrabel can say.
No. Mike Vrabel continues to say, JD is not on this team. JD is not on this team.
Because this is about the general manager making the move.
Look, they work together. I understand that the GM makes the decisions. But Mike Vrabel, and we'll talk about this later, Austin, don't downplay this. Mike Vrabel, I believe, is a key catalyst in this entire conversation, right? Because, and I'll tell you right now, Vrabel has the connection with
no doubt.
JD. That's why you can't discredit Vrabel and what he does.
Zach, I'm not discrediting Vrabel's Zach. I'm not discrediting Vrabel's part in this. I'm discrediting Vrabel's comments at press conferences when he's asked about Jadeveon Clowney, because the easiest thing for a head coach to pass off is a question about personnel moves to a head coach, because he just says, well, that's up for the GM. That's the GM's job. That's not my job. When obviously we know that he's got a hand in this, and that every time John Robinson has been asked about Jadeveon Clowney, he's had an answer along the lines of, yeah, we've been in contact. We're monitoring the situation. Nothing has been imminent, yada, yada, yada. So the Saints are new players in this. And so you bring up the Saints are serious about this, and they're sending a coach to Houston to try to have the recruiting pitch happen. But what about, because everybody says in recruiting game, in high school to college, right, there's always that some type of thing you feel for the first big school that offered you, right? The Tennessee Titans are more like that. They're the first big school that gave me a shot, that told me I was worth playing in the SEC. The Saints are just trying to come in at the last second because now they want me, but so-and-so's been – the Titans have been with me the whole time. The Titans have been contacting me and hitting me up and showing me love the entire god dang summer. So with Jadeveon Clowney, he's got the connections in Nashville with Mike Vrabel, who's been in Houston. Anthony Midget was an assistant coach in Houston. You've got Pat O'Hara, who's on the offense side of the ball, but he was an assistant coach on that Houston Texans staff. And Jonathan Joseph, who is one of Clowney's closest friends, and their ties go all the way back pre-Texans, pre-South Carolina for Clowney, because Jonathan Joseph is several years older than Clowney and was mentoring Clowney when he was in high school. So I feel like the Titans have the most connections personally with Clowney. So I still think they should have the best overall shot.
All right, so let's ask this question. Let's get everybody involved. We're having a massive show talking about Clowney Watch 2020. It's a simple question to all of our listeners and all of our viewers. Comment in the comment section. Who do you think Jadeveon Clowney picks? Does he pick the Titans or does he pick the Saints? We've got some new news, right? We just heard that this morning, and that Diana Rossetti from yesterday, following up that the Saints are sending over a member of their coaching staff to Houston to send a pitch. That's the question we're asking you guys. Comment in the comment section. Who do you think he will pick, the Titans or the Saints?
All right, I'm going to read some comments here in a second and show you guys these comments. But first, Zach, tell the people about the Tucker Agency.
Yeah, the Tucker Agency can save you money, big-time money, when it comes to your insurance. Right there, tuckertn.com, Nashville's independent insurance agency. Think about what you pay for your insurance. Everybody's got it. If you got a car, you got car insurance. If you own a home, you got homeowner's insurance. If you rent, you should have renter's insurance. If you have kids, you probably should have life insurance. Those policies can be under one umbrella, and you can save a lot of money, 20%. If you email Will at tuckertn.com, Will Tucker, the owner of the Tucker Agency, email him today. Say, Will, heard about you on A to Z Sports. How do I save money on my insurance? The average customer that emails him, 20% savings. That's Will at tuckertn.com.
All right, A to Z Sports here live on a Friday. Want to get to some of your comments now. Do you think he'll go to the Saints or the Titans? It's basically a pick one for Jadeveon Clowney. We'll talk about the other teams that have been reported to be in the mix here in a second. Titans 8251 says that's not enough. He will be a Saint 100%. Arnav says he's going to the Saints. Titans have to push harder. They seem to not want him badly. But the Titans have been after Jadeveon Clowney for 6 months. And if you just heard us talk yesterday, the
dynamic has changed.
But there was a report on Tuesday, Arnav, saying that the Titans are frustrated that they haven't been able to get him inside for a physical. The Titans have been wanting him for a while. Keenan says Clowney is trying to use the Saints as leverage to raise his price.
Keenan's got a good point.
Lance says if he wanted to be with the Titans, he would have already been on the team. At this point, keep moving. Sawyer says New Orleans is close to Houston. Got to count that. Titans for Life says he's going Saints. Jason Littlejohn says Saints. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Rasan says he may not pass the physical. Jimmy says that he picks the Titans. John says Saints. Sawyer says Saints. Steph says not saying Titans aren't trying, but Saints are pushing all their chips in the center of the table. Stacy going with the Saints as well. And Luis says he's picking the couch. Tyler with the Saints. Here's a Titans comment from James. Adam says Titans. Tommy says Saints. I believe, Zach, there are more Saints Saints selections than Titans. Will says he's coming to Nashville. Tighten up. So, Zach, what's your prediction on this? Do you think he goes Titans or Saints?
Well, I think people should feel that he's going more towards the Saints because they're the new suitor, right? That's the news. Is the report is the Saints want him badly. If you want somebody badly, you in this game, you usually overpay. If you want him that badly, there's always a price, right?
Yeah.
So I think right now you have to say that he's trending to go to the Saints. Here's my thing. The Saints have more to sell overall than the Titans do. They do. The Titans the Titans have a good coming off of a good season. They do. But they haven't won the division since 2008, right? They went to the playoffs here and there over the last several years, right? They didn't make the playoffs a couple of years ago. Why? Mariota sat down. They couldn't beat the Colts. Then you had the unbelievable run last year, and I think Derrick Henry helps the case. But the Saints, they've got history. They have a Super Bowl. They have Drew Brees. They have Michael Thomas, one of the best wide receivers in the game. They are trying to build their defense. Cam Jordan, that dude's a beast. So I think Jadeveon Clowney, he went to the Seahawks with that same sort of mindset last year to say –
he was traded there, so that was not necessarily –
but he went there and he didn't complain, right? He went there and played, and he was a key cog in beating the Eagles in the playoff game, right?
Sure, yeah.
Helmet to the dome of the Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz. So I think right now, if the Titans wanted him, and the Titans did and probably do want him, but I think that it's going to be hard for them to unseed the physical, right? They've always said they want a physical, right?
And the Saints don't?
Well, right now the Saints are flying there saying
here's the thing. The clock is ticking on this because Monday's game week, everybody, and we can get excited about game week happening because we've been waiting on this for a long ass time. Game week is here Monday. You have to pass a lot. You have to have a lot of negative COVID tests before you even get in the dang building. So
let me time out real quick.
Okay.
And the reason why I've heard a lot, I listened to some things this morning, local people talk about, it's not about week one, guys. And I kind of like spewed. I actually turned the radio off, I'll be honest, because it was incorrect. Don't think about Denver or Tampa because those are the first two opponents. Think about week 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. That's the reason why you signed Jadeveon Clowney. Especially that's the reason why these two teams are signing Jadeveon Clowney.
You're not wrong, but you got it. What's the stat? Like the teams who go 2-0 to start the season, make the playoffs like 80% of the time. That week one's involved in that stat.
But both of these teams are going to play. One of them is going to play without Clowney. Both of them may play without Clowney.
Sure, but Diane Orsini says both teams want him on the field by Monday and are making their pitches. So both teams, according to the report, the Clown Bomb from last night, both teams want Clowney on the field by Monday so they can have him for the regular season. So I'm interested. You think the Saints have more to offer?
I do.
I see, and I saw somebody we've gotten so many comments today. It's hard. I can't scroll back and find it. Somebody says that the NFC gives an easier path to the Super Bowl than the AFC. How do you feel about that? Because to me,
I disagree with that, Adam.
You disagree with that? I know the Chiefs and the Ravens, you could argue, are the best two teams in the NFL, are both in the AFC, but in the NFC, and
NFC is a better conference.
Yes, it's so much deeper. They had like 5 teams with 11 wins last year, plus. And then they had a couple teams that got left out of the playoffs that were really good too. And so the NFC is a lot deeper. And you're talking about winning your division. I think the NFC South with Brady and the Bucks and Breeze and the Saints, that's really tough competition right there. That's tougher than the Titans competition in the AFC South. I mean, do you disagree with that?
No, but the Saints have consistently, they are a 10-plus win team every year.
No, I understand that.
So like he's going there. The Saints, more than likely, they're going to be a 10-plus win team again. They may be a 10-6 team, but and may get a wild card instead of the division, or they may win the division. But let's just face it. It's not about that. The Saints are going to be in the playoffs. The Titans, you could question if they are going to be in the playoffs, right? They were a 9-7 team last year. And what have they been consistently? A 9-7 team. The Saints have more to offer and more to sell. This is one of the worst teams that could have come in and swooped up Clowney if you're the Tennessee Titans.
Well, but they also have a salary cap situation that makes things very difficult.
They're going to make it work if they want them. Money is no object in the NFL if you want somebody. It's just those are the facts, cold, hard, and true.
But the Saints have already started going around to their current players saying, hey, would you be willing to take a pay cut to get Jadeveon Clowney in here?
They also said that Alvin Kamara could be on the trade block, right? The Saints are trying to figure out a way to get to the Super Bowl this season.
All right. So
Drew Brees is Father Time is bearing down on Drew Brees because that's the inevitable. They have to make their push right now. And that, like I said, there's probably 5 teams that the Titans did not want to come in on this Clowney thing. The Saints were one of them.
I don't disagree with that point whatsoever. Now, let's think about this. Let's think, because we've been thinking about from the Titans and Saints perspective of who has more to offer, right? Let's think about this from Jadeveon Clowney's perspective, because we started this March 2020 when the world went to hell with Jadeveon Clowney saying that he wanted $20 million per year. He wanted a long-term contract. He wanted to be one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid defensive player in the entire NFL, yada, yada, yada. All that was coming out of Clowney's mouth and his camp, right? He's already turned down $51 million over 3 years from the Browns. And now Jadeveon Clowney wants $15 million. And then what does he want next year? In the free agency of 2021, Clowney wants to hit it big next offseason as a free agent once again. And if I'm Jadeveon Clowney and I want to hit it big and get that big long-term money and get what I actually believe I'm worth, I'm picking Mike Vrabel. I'm not picking Sean Payton. I'm picking Mike Vrabel because, let me finish, Mike Vrabel was the defensive coordinator and the guy that I worked with instrumentally in Houston when I had my best season. And I think now Mike Vrabel having Jadeveon Clowney in Nashville gets Jadeveon Clowney more money long-term because he's going to be more productive in the Titans defense compared to his productivity in the Saints defense, in my opinion. I think that should have a lot of weight in this conversation because we know Mike Vrabel, if he has Clowney, he's going to use him all over the field. Left, right, center, not the drinking game, but all over the place on the defensive field. Where if he goes to the Saints, where's he going to line up? Like right defensive end or left defensive end. He's not going to be that chess piece and that blitzing piece like Mike Vrabel's going to do, because when Clowney had his 9-sack season in Houston, that was because Mike Vrabel was using him in so many different ways. He only had 3 sacks last year with the Seahawks. He played way better than 3 sacks, right? But he had 3 sacks last year because he played right defensive end in a 4-3. And that's how Seattle used it.
Who has a better defensive line, the Saints or the Titans?
The Saints have more names on the defensive line than the Titans, but does that make them better?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, they have, look, Cam Jordan is an absolute beast.
And the Titans have anybody that represents.
Well, but you have Jeffrey Simmons is not Cam Jordan yet, but Jeffrey Simmons is a rising star. And so you kind of have that. And Harold Landry.
Look, I'm sticking. The Saints have more to
who's
sell.
better, Marcus Davenport or Harold Landry? Like, those guys are probably even. One guy was a first-round pick. One guy was a second-round pick. Landry's a second-round pick. The Titans have Vic Beasley. We don't know what to expect, but they have Rashaan Evans, who Demario Davis is a really good middle linebacker. Rashaan Evans and Jayon Brown are a really good middle linebacker duo with the Titans. I think it's fairly easy. The Saints have Marshawn Lattimore, a really good cornerback. The Titans have two in Butler and in Adoree Jackson, and they have Kevin Byard back there. I think, and Brian says the 3-4 versus the 4-3. I feel like Jadeveon Clowney fits better with the Tennessee Titans than he would on the Saints defense. And I think you're comparing like names because the market of New Orleans gets more play than the market of Nashville, and you can't discredit that.
No. I compare names because the Saints historically have done better and have been a better football team in the last 5 years. That's what I'm saying. It's not based on market, Austin. I'm basing on,
but that has a lot to do with it.
I'm basing it on results. So I don't discredit what you said about the Vrabel connection. I think it's a very valid point. I think the question I would have is everything that Jadeveon Clowney, his actions have shown me is that he's not thinking about that. That is the chess play. That's the long play. All of his actions have told me is he's thinking about this season, getting paid his value. And he already thinks, no, Austin, he is already in his mind going to be devalued in 2020. Why? Because at one point, he said he was worth $20 million.
Yeah, I know that. So in my opinion, I want to go to the place that's going to get me more money to make up for this down the road. And that's Mike Vrabel, not Sean Payton. He can
do the same thing tomorrow or next year.
Huh?
He can just do the same thing next year.
He's going, and he can continue to cost himself more money.
Well, he's going Revis Island on it. Darrelle Revis
no, he's not.
Same thing.
No, Darrelle Revis actually benefited from it, though, because he actually got a lot of money. Jadeveon Clowney is costing himself money the longer this goes on.
Well, and his play, and that's why you play the game, right? His play this year, I think the Saints are doing everything that Jadeveon Clowney wants.
By giving him a bunch of attention?
Yes.
The Titans have been doing that for months.
Not enough. When you got to when somebody wants attention, you got to give them attention 24 hours a day. You cannot ignore them. That's the concept of an attention whore. We've all been around those type of people. And Clowney's actions tell me that that's what he is. He has to be wanted. He doesn't want to be wanted. He has to be.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but I think Titans for Life says he's thinking about how can he hit it big next year, big stats this year. Alex says he's waiting to see if the Saints can make cap space, would have signed already if that wasn't the case. Talking about the Saints.
All right, so before we get to our next questions, which I do think are good, they involve the Titans, and we're going to play the if game.
Yeah.
Austin, I will ask you this before we get to those questions.
Okay.
I put on the graphic J-Rob's next move. I'll ask you, what does John Robinson have to do now that we know the Saints are in this to win it?
All right, I'm going to buy myself some time because I got to think about this. So tell the people about Calvin and Subtle before so I can, think better about it.
All right, Calvin and Subtle, I'll give you that time. You can have time, and it only take 1 to 2 weeks to get brand new hardwood floors installed in your house, your home. Upgrade the equity of your home with Calvin and Subtle, 615-448-6414. That's 615-448-6414. You call them up. You pick out your perfect hardwood floors. Cost effective, mind you. You can get a $3.99 per square foot hardwood floor. Boom. That thing is installed, materials ordered 1 to 2 weeks. They are trusted. We trust them. You should trust them. 615-448-6414.
All right, A to Z Sports. Zach, you asked me a good question. What do you think John Robinson has to do in order to land Clowney? What does he have to add to the pitch already? So Ethan Ramsey says, "Sing, I want you to want me." We already have seen J-Rob's got some pipes. Maybe J-Rob can do a little serenading towards Clowney's way. Look, I think John hits it. It's overpay. It's what does Clowney care about? He cares about money. The only thing that John Robinson can do to beat out the Saints is offer more money than the New Orleans Saints. Because if Jadeveon Clowney's and also add incentives. I think adding incentives on top of offering more than the Saints is the good way to go. Because if Jadeveon Clowney meets all of his incentives, you want that to happen. Like, you want players to hit their incentives because that means they're being successful in the field. So I think you should have a contract, you offer base more than the Saints, then you add in incentives that maybe allow Clowney to get above that 15 million mark if he hits them. And if one of those incentives is double-digit sacks, great, offer him. Give him $1 million if he gets 10 or more sacks. Give him $2 million if he gets 14 sacks, whatever it might be. Because if Jadeveon Clowney hits those incentives, the Titans defense and their pass rush specifically is better than it was a year ago, and that's what kept them from being able to hang on to that lead against the Chiefs.
It was the exact answer that I would have given. It's the correct answer. That's what you have to do. So Will John Robinson, and he's been trying to negotiate. Again, we've heard through the grapevine for months now, right? This is not just like a week or two. The Clowney watch is no longer a watch. It's like Jake Locker in the deer stand. He's been in the deer stand for like 6 months, half a year. He's ready for that big buck to walk by. Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. That's what John Robinson has to do if he truly wants Jadeveon Clowney to better his football team. You're absolutely right. Overpay, give incentives, because Jadeveon Clowney, it sounds like, especially when you negotiate with somebody for a long period of time, it now becomes like stalemate where somebody wants to feel like they've won. And now a new Philly's come in town, right? So you can divert your attention. And I think that's what the Saints are trying to do to Jadeveon Clowney, is divert his attention away from the stalemate that the Titans and Clowney has gotten. Because if Clowney really wanted to be a Tennessee Titan, he'd be a Tennessee Titan, right? But it hasn't been the perfect deal for Clowney. So you have to overpay. So John Robinson, this is a true test. Look, he paid Malcolm Butler a buku of money over a long period of time. He gave Dion Lewis a long contract, right? He's paid his guys.
Dion Lewis was for like $4 million.
I mean,
it was too much. It was too much, but it wasn't like astronomical.
The Cameron Wake contract was pretty crazy, but it was team friendly. It wasn't. They got out of that no big Cameron Wake. Right. Yeah. But how bad do you want a Super Bowl?
I mean, this is the window, right? This is the time. This is the time to do it.
Right?
So, real quick, Titans 212 says, if the Titans overpay Clowney this year, does it help them land him next year for less? I don't think you're even worried about landing Clowney next offseason. Like, I think
it's
a 1 year, it's a 1 year deal. You would agree that, hey, 1 year, let's go give it our best. Let's try to do something special. And then we part ways afterwards and see what happens. And I don't think it's necessarily thinking about 2021 free agency whatsoever. Before Zach, before we get to about the impact of Clowney with or not on the Titans, we do have to have us a really good laugh. And Diana Rossini had 3 tweets about Jadeveon Clowney last night and then the one this morning. And I think everybody involved, and we have a huge audience right now. Everybody, let's pause and let's have a fantastic laugh as I show Diana Rossini's tweets that while the price for Clowney is still too high for Seattle, I'm told the Jacksonville Jaguars are also monitoring the situation per source. Now let's all have a laugh because the Jacksonville Jaguars are in no way actually monitoring the situation clearly.
No, I mean, it's laughable. So what was your reaction when you read that?
This was my reaction.
Whammy. Oh, that is true. I didn't see that coming. An astute observation has led to laughter. We are laughing.
That was my reaction.
I had a very similar reaction.
Oh, did you? Did you?
I did. This was my reaction.
Attaboy. $4 million. The city cops say fine. Your farm says not said anything. But they promise to break their silence soon with a press conference. No, son of a bitch! Will be never seen. Stay tuned.
Oh man. So look, we both had the same reaction. So like we are all laughing. We're laughing. We're laughing hilariously laughing. So no, in all seriousness, the only reason why the Jaguars are leaking something for Diana Rossini to have another clown bomb is so they can always point back to that tweet when people accuse them of tanking. They say, no, we're not tanking. We're not tanking.
We had interest.
We were monitoring the Clowney situation. Like, no team that's tanking would have been monitoring that situation. No, we weren't tanking. Get out of here. That's funny. That's the only reason why.
Well, great minds think alike, and I think we were on the same page on that one.
Oh man. Okay, so now let's transition into this question: is if the Titans land Jadeveon Clowney, what are your expectations for this team? Like, where do they go if the Titans land Jadeveon Clowney? So we'll get more of your comments. We'll get this show back on the rails and ask expectation for the Titans if they land Jadeveon Clowney. But first, let me tell you about renterswarehouse.com. They're the professional landlords in the Nashville area. Renterswarehouse.com is where to go to find out how much your home can rent for. There's so many different ways during the pandemic that Renters Warehouse can help you out in a tough financial situation. If that mortgage is biting deeper into your income, don't panic, sell your house. Have Renters Warehouse help you out during these tough times. If you already own rental property, it's the perfect time to hand it over to the experts and to not try to DIY that situation. RentersWarehouse.com is where to go. There's no binding contracts, no upfront marketing costs, no upfront costs in general. It's just one low $89 a month, and they take care of everything with your property. RentersWarehouse.com.
Don't forget about my bookie. Code MyTitans saves you, actually gives you money. It doesn't save you money.
It gives you. I got a free $150 yesterday by doing that.
That's why we're doing this. MyBookie.ag. All season long, you want to bet on the Titans. We're also going to be featuring some really cool Titans bets in the beginning of the season. So use My Titans. If you put in $50, poof, all of a sudden you have $100 in your account to kind of put a little scratch on MyBookie.ag.
All right, Zach. So expectations. What are your expectations for the Tennessee Titans if they sign Jadeveon Clowney? I'm going to try to scroll back through the top of these comments to find out where we start here. John Michael Presley says Super Bowl. Nate, Super Bowl. Austin says pass rush equals playoffs. 10. Chris Frazier says 10 plus sacks. So you went Clowney expectations, which is fair. Brandon says 11-5. Mikey says would put them what he had an 8-win team now to an 11-win team. I don't think Clowney's worth 3 games in the win total, but he definitely makes him a lot better. Cody says the Titans don't make it to the Super Bowl. Mark my words. Jeff says a Super Bowl appearance. Chris Frazier says 11-5 without Clowney. K.N. Leonard says 12-4, AFC South champions, and at least another AFC championship appearance. Chad says division title, at least one playoff win. John says they have momentum, have to at minimum return to the AFC title game. Ian Williams, good question. How do we know what kind of shape he's in?
Nobody does.
Well, Clowney, unlike Vic Beasley, Clowney's put out workout videos. And so in those workout videos,
the almighty workout video.
But no, I mean, we've got that to judge from. Like, we had no idea Vic Beasley was not doing anything all offseason because we never saw a workout video. If we saw a workout video of Vic Beasley from June and we were in this situation, we'd probably be like, well, we know he was doing something, right? Clowney's been doing stuff. We know that for a fact. Let's see. Ethan Ramsey says AFC title game. Titans 212 says double-digit wins and win the division. So home field playoff game for the first time since when? Since 2008. That would be the answer to that question. Ramon says, I believe the Titans will be ready for Lamar and Mahomes and the Super Bowl. Brian says, healthy year equals playoff bye and home field advantage. Playoff bye and home field advantage are the same thing because there's only one team that gets a bye in each conference this year. All right, Zach, I've read a lot of comments, and your favorite friend is back in the comment section too, by the way, that is unmuted today. So, Zach, what are your expectations for the Titans if they sign Jadeveon Clowney?
Oh, I could make Country Boy feel so bad right now, but I digress. So my expectations, and I got to be realistic. I have to be realistic on this, okay? I have high expectations, but I also understand what position Jadeveon Clowney plays, right? So my expectation, I don't honestly, I know that there's a means to an end, so or a method to whatever the madness is, and that is if you win your division and you attain home field, it is easier to get to the Super Bowl. But as you just said, there's only one bye. So that changes things. That changes things big for me.
Mm-hmm.
We saw last year the Ravens win their division, get all home field advantage, and that was poof, gone after one game, right?
And in 2008, what happened?
The same thing with Kerry Collins and Algie Crumpler, Lindell White, and half or 2 quarters of Chris Johnson, right? So my expectations if they land Jadeveon Clowney is an AFC Championship game appearance. That is the result that I would expect, and if I was the Titans, would want. Another opportunity to get to the Super Bowl, possibly another opportunity to beat Patrick Mahomes to get to said Super Bowl. If this was a quarterback, I change my answer to Super Bowl.
Well, okay, so you say with Clowney, you're thinking AFC title game appearance. Without Clowney, what do you feel?
Without Clowney?
Because I feel like you could make an argument saying without Clowney, you still feel like they should get to that level. But look, the defense.
I'm very close on that because, look, here's my true opinion, Austin. It's truly not about Clowney. I think Clowney helps you win a Super Bowl, right? If you get to a Super Bowl, he's the guy that goes Von Miller on Cam Newton and makes the massive play to win you the game in the biggest moment.
Yeah.
The guy that gets you back to where you just previously were is Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. Those two guys, because offense, as we know, right? Let's look at the offenses. The 49ers run game was unbelievable. That's why they made it to the Super Bowl, plus their defense. You had Aaron Rodgers, who was in the NFC Championship game. You had Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, and all of these guys. That was based on their offensive productivity. So my thing is, the guys that get you to the AFC Championship consistently are the core group of your offense. The guys who can win you the big game are the guys like Clowney. So they're very similar of the AFC Championship game appearance with or without Clowney.
Yeah, I just think that the defensive depth or lack thereof up front is concerning to me. Where without Clowney, I expect the Titans to be a playoff team. Without Clowney. With Clowney, they're winning multiple playoff games. Like, I'm not saying that they can't win a playoff game without Clowney, but I expect them to win 2 playoff games if they do get Jadeveon Clowney. So I'm kind of in the same aspect as you. Without Clowney, they're a playoff team. No ifs and or buts about it. With Clowney, there's an opportunity to reach the Super Bowl because now you have a game wrecker to add to your defensive front. Because that's what Jadeveon Clowney has the potential of doing, wrecking games. And the Titans, look, we talked about Titans most likely to take over a game. Jadeveon Clowney, I think, finds his way into that top 5 conversation if he's on the team.
So I think I personally answered kind of both of our questions.
Sure.
Which was they're right in the same. It does not swing the pendulum. Now, the other difficult part is I don't believe in the Titans pass rush right now. Like I don't at all. Like I am worried to death about that facet of their team. I think it's the worst, singular worst part of their team. It is. It's numero uno. They have not shown me, no. And the reason why, they have not shown me this offseason that they have changed so they can play differently against Patrick Mahomes, right? And they've got to go up against guys that they didn't see in the playoffs, like Deshaun Watson, that can do Patrick Mahomes-esque things at times. And so, look, they did a great job on Lamar Jackson. The Ravens could not make fourth down plays. I think that was a huge part of that game. And that's
the Titans stopped. The Titans made the plays in the short yardage situation.
Credit to the defense. But I think I feel differently overall about the team for the full year if Clowney's on it. I think I keep going back to their biggest issue if he's not on it.
So, and Keenan conveniently asked the question for us, should the Titans have kept Jurrell Casey? If the Titans do not get Jadeveon Clowney, it makes it hurt more for Titans fans to see Jurrell Casey in Denver on Monday night wearing those Broncos unis. If the Titans get Clowney, nobody's worried about Jurrell Casey and that trade anymore. I still think it was the correct move, Clowney or not. Clowney makes it better. It was the correct move to move on from Jurrell Casey and his $35 million left on his contract now rather than 2021. Because guess what, Zach? And everybody watching here, nobody is taking 32-year-old Jurrell Casey's $26 million next offseason when the salary cap is down to $175 because of the coronavirus. Nobody's taking that. But the Broncos took it this year, and that helps the Titans out long term. And
I credit at first, I think all Titans fans were taken back by
you're like, what?
Yes. What just happened? What did they get for him? What? But as you explained, if you look at the threads of the contract, that it makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. All right. Did we answer our predictions? I know we answered a lot of read a lot of comments on is he going to go Titans or Saints, but did we actually give our answers? I don't think I did. I don't think we went that whole segment.
I said mine.
You said Saints, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think I answered the question. Well, I didn't do my job. I just started laughing at the Jaguars.
Where do you think he goes? You were at it. Well, wait, let me set this up. Okay. Yeah. Because a couple of weeks ago,
a month ago. Okay. More than a couple weeks.
4 weeks ago.
Over. It was in July, and we're sitting here September 4th.
4 weeks ago or
plus.
So.
A month plus.
Said as a confidence level, and we do those a lot, it was at a 9.
In late July, I said 9. It was before training camp started.
It's like giving, if you watch, One Bite, everybody knows the rules. If you watch those pizza reviews, if somebody gets a 9, that's some damn good pizza. Now, we brought up the conversation again yesterday. And Austin moved from a 9, really, really good pizza, to like crap-ass, old, cold, moldy pizza at a 4 as the confidence level of the Titans signing Jadeveon Clowney.
And that's over like a 5-week period too. Like you have to understand.
That's a lot of numbers drop though.
But that's 1 point per week. How about that? That actually makes sense.
No, it doesn't. Don't justify it.
I am justifying it.
Roller coaster.
No,
that is a yo-yo from a 9 to a 4.
Literally, it made sense. For every week that went on without Jadeveon Clowney, I dropped my expectations by a point.
That doesn't make any sense. You were telling us that the Titans were going to sign him.
I still
I could go back and check the tape because you were that adamant.
I was that adamant, and I will update my 4 because of the new information that we got yesterday afternoon of Diana Rossini and others reporting that Clowney and the Saints and the Titans are. That's kind of what it's down to. It's down to Titans and Saints for Clowney, and it's going to happen by the time we're back from Labor Day weekend, right? That's the situation. I'm up to a 6 now and I think that's fair because I do think the Saints are a serious player in this, but I'm up to a 6. And Zach, you predicted you think Saints get him, and Titans 212 says, don't forget the Jags. I think the Titans will have Jadeveon Clowney on the practice field next week leading up to week 1 versus the Denver Broncos. I think Mike Vrabel, John Robinson, Anthony Midget, Pat O'Hara, and Jonathan Joseph put a package together and they go land the Clown.
Man, this is the Austin that I like, right? This is the Austin that I prefer. Putting the chips on the table, lighting your blowtorch to the fence in front of you, and taking a stand. This I like, Austin, and I have on no basis why you think this. I love the opinion of what you said. It may be right or wrong, and you know what? I don't even want to challenge you.
I'll say this again.
I want to soak in the glory of you going so hard on one side because we don't see that often. You have blowtorched this fence down and taken a stance. I love it.
Zach, I go back to what I said 30 minutes ago today. That if I'm Jadeveon Clowney and I think I want to make big money after this season for the rest of my career, which getting his age, next offseason, the last time he's going to get an opportunity for big, big money. If I want big money next year, I'm picking Mike Vrabel, not Sean Payton. Because Mike Vrabel will help me get that, where Sean Payton, I'm just a piece of his puzzle. And with Mike Vrabel, I am a really important big corner piece of that puzzle.
Kenneth,
foundation. If I'm Clowney, I'm a foundation of the Titans defense, and he is going to use, Mike Vrabel will use me to the best of my abilities, and I will get more production on the stat sheet with the Titans and the Saints.
What do you think about Kenneth's comment? Not going to lie, it seems every year the Titans are on the radar for some big-time free agents, but at the end they get burned. Well, I found it hard to buy into the hype.
Look, fair comment there, but I'll go back to something that John Robinson talks about all the time. John Robinson says he's always willing to kick the tires. He's always willing to talk on the phone. And that's why we hear the Titans involved with Antonio Brown. Like, what? Like, the Titans were involved in that. Why? Because John Robinson's going to pick up the phone and say, hey, what are you guys thinking? Where are you at? And so if he likes what he hears, he moves forward. If he doesn't like what he hears, it's over.
But Ken's right. The Titans have to draft their stars. This isn't a big free agency spot.
Well, and Ken,
you get the love of the show.
And you know what?
Absolutely correct.
And you know what I'll add to it? Super Bowl champions have to draft their stars. They don't win Super Bowls with big money free agents.
But sometimes big money free agents put them over the top.
They're complementary, but they're not the foundation of the football team. The foundation of the football team is through the NFL draft. You add veteran free agents to fill the holes that the draft has and that has built over a 4 or 5 year period of drafting. And that's what Clowney would be for the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Ryan Tannehill situation, very unique of how they got the quarterback, right? But look at all the guys they've drafted and paid already. Look at all the young players they're going to be counting on in 2020 that they just drafted 2 or 3 years ago.
I still think history says the Titans don't land these big fish.
I think they get Jadeveon Clowney because Mike Vrabel's the difference here. Mike Vrabel's going to make Clowney more money than Sean Payton will.
Fair. The Titans are fishing on a different boat than they were 5, 6, 7 years ago, right? It's bigger. It has more luxuries on this boat. But history tells me that another fisherman usually lands the marlin.
All right, Zach. Everybody who's watching this show, I swear, I promise you, do not leave. Do not leave this show because there is going to be a payoff. If you've been watching our show for now 59 minutes on the dot, there is a humongous payoff that's about to happen over the next minute. So do not leave this show. I promise you it's worth it. Good news up next, but first let me tell you about Mandu, the pulse of fitness, where one 15-minute workout equals 5 hours in the weight room. How is that possible? 15 equaling 5 hours? It's because of the science of full body electronic muscle stimulation that gets deep in your muscle fibers. It works all of your muscles, and it's not putting any stress or pressure on your joints or your body. Mandu.com. It's also perfect to try your first free workout during the pandemic because it's by appointment only. It's safe. They clean everything. You're not sharing equipment with anybody before it's been cleaned. Mandu.com. Your first workout is free.
A to Z Sports. Don't forget, and we've done this for you guys, Titans fans, My Titans. MyBookie.ag. If you want to bet on NFL football this season, we've got you covered. Double your first deposit. You put in $20, you have $40 in your account to bet whatever. And we're going to be feeding you really good Titans bets throughout the course of the first couple of weeks of the season. So My Titans, use the code, help yourself, help. Look, Titans fans all over the world, all over the country can use this. My code is My Titans.
All right, Zach. You
want to
ready?
go first for your good news?
No, I think you should go first. Well, I think you should do what you're supposed to do, what the Magic Bucket told you to do yesterday. When we have this Magic Bucket on Thursday, sometimes it punishes us on Friday, and for my purpose, it's going to punish me on Tuesday. But for Zach, it's punishing you right now. So, Zach, go ahead and pay off the BioPure Music City Magic Bucket, and then I'll let you say your good news.
So I could go full, like, I could be that guy right now.
Or you can start. I mean, nobody's going to listen to my good news if Zach's doing what you're about to do while I'm saying it. So just go ahead and pay off your Magic Bucket.
So my good news, and I will tell you my good news. My good news actually matches the lips that I put on.
All right, well, let's go. I'm ready.
Hey, would you? Are you doing this? Or am I?
You're wasting time. You're
Austin. How much do we have a time limit?
No, I'm just saying.
I interrupt you?
Let's go.
No,
let's get it off.
I'm not
you're stalling.
If you piss me off, I'm going to stop.
Okay. I'm messing with you.
Shut up.
Okay. All right. You're getting really defensive. And
because you won't be quiet.
Okay, go. You have to stop talking to do this.
I understand, but let me do my business.
Okay.
I've got some things that I've got to get off my chest, okay? And it starts with the shade of Ruby Flame. And the Ruby Flame actually matches my good news.
Oh, you're going big. You're going big circles.
The good news is this week, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got better.
God, that's so bad. Why did you do your bottom lip like that?
You know why? Because I've got some things that I got to get off my chest, okay? I've got some people that I have to honestly block. And my good news is one country boy is officially going to get blocked.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, country boy. He had his opportunity to come back and say his piece, but my good news is for the public. Country boy 3322 will never be a part of this show again. So good day, sir, to you.
Is he blocked?
He's blocked.
All right, there he goes. Bye-bye. That's your good. He just commented again. Did you block him?
I'm in the process of it.
Okay. So I was about to say, I was like, he just commented. Like, where's the block happening? So everybody's saying bye-bye to Country Boy 3322. So he is now gone. Kevin Tubbs is asking, what did he do? If you missed the Country Boy drama from yesterday, you can go check out towards the end of yesterday's show and what happened with Country Boy. And now he followed it up today with other comments that are crossing lines that we are not.
Honestly, also, I won't say what I was going to say earlier in the show, but I could have made Country Boy feel about that big.
Yeah.
And I chose not to. And usually I'm not the bigger man on this. Usually I go full burn your house down, but I didn't. So to you, Country Boy, goodbye.
And you say I'm usually not the bigger man as you're wearing a ruby red lipstick. Where'd you get their lipstick, by the way? You said you had to go acquire it.
Yeah, I went to this morning. I went to Kroger, and I was looking around. It was really early in the morning. I was like, I really hope nobody is like looking at me, looking out the makeup aisle, and like, because I had to find the right color, right? Like, I wasn't gonna do like a light shade of pink where it didn't pop, you know. And and also I had to make sure that I didn't get stain. I was informed I did not want stain because that's a type of lipstick. I didn't know anything about that.
Same.
And so I had to kind of like look around, and I self-checked out, and
yes,
I kind of like, I held it in my hand, but I didn't want to like say like I was stealing something.
Yeah.
And then I paid for it. And I got the F out of there.
Yeah, there you go. And that's very similar to how I felt when I had to go buy foundation in college for a broadcast class in Walgreens. So my good news is I've actually got two good news. One, we have local football, college football tomorrow. MTSU Army. That's going to be fun. College football. The FBS has started. Last night really got underway, and now there's going to be a lot of games in college football on Saturday and Monday.
Like who plays?
MTSU Army. BYU Navy?
Yeah.
That's BYU Navy?
Yeah.
No?
No. You're not going to watch a lot of those games. Come on, let's be honest.
I'll watch some.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
Yes,
this is not the week to give that.
No, I'm not saying that. Look, I'm saying like this is good. It's good news that some conferences are starting now, which makes me more confident about the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12.
I just don't think that. I just don't think that that's it.
So, all right, my actual good news is this morning, Zach, I bought a bunch of new stickers for the Magic Bucket. I didn't buy just a few stickers. I bought, count them, 10 stickers for the Magic Bucket, and I'm very excited for my stickers. That, along with college football officially being back, is my good news to end this week. And it's a holiday weekend. We're going to be off on Monday. Buck's going to be off Sunday night. So this is really the last weekend, Zach, that we get of calm. Because once next week starts, it's full head of steam until the month of February, and I could not be more excited for it. That's my good news.
There you go. Well, what good news is Monday comes around, you're going to be sucking from the A to Z Sports teat.
Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, Tuesday.
Like I just said, Monday we're off. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm very excited. I'm all jacked up for this football season. Again, my bookie, my Titans, code my Titans. I got $150 free dollars yesterday by using code MyTitans at mybookie.ag. We're going to be talking a lot about that over the next few weeks as well. So I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have a good fall.
Yeah, absolutely. And I may go to Nashville after the show, see if I can walk down the red light district, see if I can't find anybody.
I think you need to go to the bathroom, and you might need to shower because that's all over the place. God.
Tell me you love me.
All right, that's creeping me out. Y'all have a great weekend. Have a great, safe holiday weekend. We'll see you back Tuesday morning. Have a good one.